Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race car lasers, airplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales. The danger, watch behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do but grab onto some DuckTales. Ooh. Every day they're out there making DuckTales. Ooh. No ponytails or goblin tails, just DuckTales. Ooh. Okay. I didn't expect to sing the whole song, but... So, this episode is on Siegfried and Roy, the animated series. So, no. This is technically a movie, isn't it? 76 minutes. I think it's like 2 episodes put together, but 3. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about DuckTales on the Retro Rewind for today. And the episode in question is, of course, Duck to the Future, which is a wordplay on Back to the Future, but it has really nothing to do with Back to the Future, although technically you could say it's like Back to the Future Part 2 as he goes to the future, but the story focuses on Scrooge McDuck, who is tricked by Magica De Spell, disguised as a fortune teller, which is, I was fortune stealer, who tells him that he sees great things in his future, and so then he goes to the future to see this, and he ends up in a future where Magica is the ruler. And I've seen this episode a million times, man. My grandma used to buy these VHSs for me. She used to transfer them onto other VHSs, and this was one of the ones. There was this one, there was one with the pearl, one with the harp. Each VHS tape came with 2 episodes, so there was 2 time travel ones, and there was this one. And then there was the Sir Gyro de Gerloos, which is in season 1, and actually came before this. But on the VHS, this episode was first. So it was weird because Scrooge mentions if Gyro still has his time tub, which was actually first introduced in the other episode, but it's after this, so it's, it's backwards. But so Scrooge's nephews, here we go. Ready? We're going to talk about the episode. Scrooge's nephews are running a lemonade stand, and they not making money. So Scrooge, he gives them advice. Might not be the best advice. And then he's walking down, in a marketplace, I guess, where he runs across Magica disguised as a fortune teller. And he reads his fortune and tells him that the future is going to be great. He needs to make a lot of money or whatever. And so he's like, I want to go to the future. Tells me, kids, I want to go to the future. So she uses this sands of time, and he's like, well, how would I get back? And he's like, the subway. He's like, the subway? Yes, the subway very good in future. So, yeah, it's a trick, but he goes to the future, and he finds that this future is run by Magica De Spell. Everything is Magica McDuck Enterprises. And so Scrooge marches his way to the Magica McDuck Enterprises building, where he's not able to get in. Because stuff. And then he realizes he needs to get back to the past. So he can't deal with this. He can't get in, but he doesn't. Wait, I think he does. Does he get in? There's another door somewhere that he gets in by paying the $100. Is it? Yeah, because he goes in first and he sees this. So first he's not able to get in. Supposed to pay $100 to get in. I think there's another door or something because he's trying to get in. No, I just watched the episode. I don't know. He goes there first and he's told he has to pay $100. And he's like, what? Because, like, he gets on the bus and they say $500. And he's like, $500? And you got to pay $100. So he puts $100 in. Well, that's later. Isn't it? When he goes in. I just watched the episode. I'm already forgetting parts. So he goes. Because he goes to the door. It won't let him in. So he tries to sneak in this little hole and it throws him back out. Because he's got to put $100. So he does put the $100 in. Okay. He goes in and he demands to see Magic McDuck. Of course, he's not allowed to do it. But he sneaks in as the food bringer for his nephews. And I do like that all the nephews are voiced by the same guy, as it sounds like. I do find it preposterous, though, that they don't recognize their own Uncle Scrooge. I mean, he takes the thing like, it's me, it's Uncle, and it's like, they don't believe he's Uncle Scrooge, and their defense is, Uncle Scrooge disappeared 40 years ago, but I don't know, it's really weird, and no one seems to recognize him. So he's kicked out, and then he's sent to jail, isn't? No, he gets kicked out first, and then he goes to Gyro's place, where he uses the time tub, which is now a bird bath, to try to go back to the future, but of course, or back to the past, but of course, Gyro's inventions still don't work properly, so he just ends up flying through the sky, where he's arrested for speeding and illegal use of bird bath. And that is what they tell him. So he's put in jail. And he tries to call Huey, Dewey, and Louie for help for some reason, even though they're technically villains here. And instead, Webigail shows up. And she's grown from, what he calls her Cinderella. And then she's with Doofus, who is a slender fella. Cinderella, slender fella. And they're married. And so they have to give up $12,000 and a deed to their house to free Scrooge from prison. So they go back and they try to find a way, and he sneaks in as a robot and first time he gets there, and they actually go and they see Magico, who's all Wizard of Oz, and she's going about having number one time, and then kicks him out, and then he dresses like a robot to get back in, and then as a alarm salesman, in which Alan Young, the voice of Uncle Scrooge, may he rest in peace, actually used to use his regular voice, I think, because it sounds like it's like regular voice. If you don't know, he was also Wilbur on Mr. Ed. But I think he uses his regular voice for the salesman role. There's no Scottish accent there. But his beard falls off, which somehow means that she figures out that it's Scrooge. Now, here's the thing. She can recognize Scrooge. No one else can recognize Scrooge. Or she sends him there. I don't know. She sent him there. Maybe she recognizes him. I don't know. But no one else can recognize Scrooge. And as soon as he's brought in, she's like, oh, Scrooge. And it's like, but no, his own nephews can't recognize him. That's, So she chases after them with the nephews flying a helicopter until she lets out that Scrooge, and they're not going to fly for her anymore. And then it begins a time chase. Because they're chasing through time. I don't remember the exact words, but they're taken to different time periods. There's what is the first one they're sent to? I don't remember what the first one is, but there's like a night jousting thing. There's General Custer's last stand, and they can't use General Custer for some reason, but they can say Sitting Bull, because like, oh no, General Custer's last stand, because he says he wants to go to the nephew's lemonade stand, and he gets sent to General Custer's last stand. But then Magica says, there is Sitting Bull. I'm like, wait, they can't say General Custer, but they can use Sitting Bull? What? And then they're on the infamous Zeppelburger, which is a play on the Hindenburg inflatable thing with a blimp thing. and then get us off this flying lemon, sends them back to the lemonade stand with the boys back in present day. And I'm like, wait a minute. All these names that got messed up by one word, and he says flying lemon, and they're sent back? That doesn't make any sense. And it's weird because in order, she ran out of the sands of time. So he's got some, and he's like, you give me my dime back, or I'm jumping without you. And I'm like, I'm sitting here now at almost 35 years old going, do it. Because my thought process is he doesn't need that version of the dime or that version of Magica. He just uses the sands of time to go back, right? And then when he goes back, he can stop Magica from stealing his dime then. Problem solved. But it's really weird because he takes her with him, and then she's like, they go back, and then this kid, oh, this lemonade is lousy, and throws it up, and it splashed on her. Oh, I need to get clothes dried. Give me dime. I'm like, what? Go home and change. That's not even clever. But, and I'll get dime next time, and walks up. I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't she future Magica? Isn't there now 2 in the present day? Does that ever come back around? Wait. My head hurts. Because she's the Magica from the future, right? So therefore, one, she didn't age. Everyone else did. Even Launchpad, who I forgot to mention, because she uses the magic. I forgot about that. She uses her magic to zap them into the dungeon, and Doofus calls for help, and it's Launchpad, and he crashes into the... Because he's teaching a crash course. And what I mean is, it's not like a crash course on doing something. It's a crash course. Like, he's teaching people how to crash. And even when Scrooge crashes into his classroom earlier with the time tub, he's like, the pity. That was some crash. Launchpad's the best. I have it actually. It's not up there on the stand. I should put it up there with the rest of those. But, you don't know, I have a stand up there. See it? With my figures and stuff. I'm gonna... Oh, hello. Crooked. But, yeah. It's really weird, this ending. Because, like, he goes up to his boys. And he tells them, oh, you never cheat anyone. And never work for Magica the Spell. They're like, okay. And then, like, Webby. And then he goes, Doofus, take care of my darling Webby Gale. And she's all laughing. And he's like, don't forget to invite me to the wedding. Me, marry Doofus. Yeah. You know, that's going to happen now. But the question in my head watching this, you know, when you rewatch something that you watched as a kid, as an adult, you start to think, wait a minute. Shouldn't there be 2 Magicas in present day? And why did he need to grab the dime in the present day? He should have been going after the sands of time to get back. Not the dime. He didn't need to grab the dime in the future. I mean, he needed to grab the dime in the future because when he got back to present day, he could just stop her from stealing it. So it's, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I know it's a cartoon. I know it's over 30 years old because it came out in 1987. So this episode is as old as I am. Happy birthday! But yeah, it's confusing. And also, if you're watching the VHS tape and this came first, and he talks about what happened to your time tub, and the very next episode is how when he invents the time tub, you're like, wait a minute, doesn't make any sense. But, you know, cartoon. Who knows? So yeah, that's Duck to the Future. It's one of the ones I watched a lot back in the day growing up. I kind of want to do a couple more of these. Like the Pearl one was cool. Ooga, 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 ooga. And then the harp one was okay. I'm trying to figure out... I could do this Sir Gyro, the Gear Loose. I've seen that one a million times. Too. That one just had Gyro and the nephews. Scrooge wasn't in that one. But it was a good one. I don't know. But, what are your thoughts on Duck to the Future? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.